Ashes of Creation is probably the most anticipated MMO in maybe the last 10 years. And in this video, we're watching a recap breaking down the biggest updates in the past 4 months, talking about the new ranger abilities, new mage abilities, new warrior abilities, and probably what is my favorite, the new caravan system, and even the ability to sail and engage in combat literally on the ocean. Friends, without further ado, let's dive on in, friends. Come on, give it to me.
So in my last Ashes update vid, we covered the August, September, October, and November updates, which showcased progress.
And I gotta say, these graphics have come so far over the years. This thing has been in development for so long, and this thing is looking good.
To the village nodes, the event system, the caravan system, and artisan skills. Starting out with December's live stream, which takes place in a winter-themed
where my WoW hunters at?
The focus here was the updated ranger combat, which has come a long way. As you can see, we've got 2 full hotbars of abilities, which shows that class design is well on its way to being ready for Alpha 2.
I gotta say, I'm not more of a range hunter kind of guy in MMOs that I play, but this outfit and these abilities, I'm telling you, they're going to want to make you play 100, dude.
To keep this as concise as possible, I'll start by showing each ability along with its tooltip so you can just see what it does rather than rambling.
Yeah, this
First
is
up, we have
Unreal
Snipe,
Engine 5.
a solid opener ability. Next, the weapon basic attacks.
Bro, look at the animations. So good,
Barrage.
dude. Bro,
Headshot, which is a ranged execute ability that has cooldown reduction applied to it if the target is marked.
That's freaking sick, dude.
Mark of the Bear. Mark of the Raven.
Bro.
Mark of the Tiger.
It's coming together, man.
Next, we're given an overview.
Now remember, this is an unfinished product. This game is not even out of alpha yet. This is a very, very unfinished product, but it is already looking so good.
Of the hunt abilities, which are basically ranger self buffs, starting with Hunt of the Bear, Hunt of the Raven,
so good, dude,
and Hunt of the Tiger. Scattershot, a ranged AoE cone ability that has optional charge capability for a more highly focused
Furix is going to be addicted.
Airstrike. Not only does this provide AoE crowd control and damage, but the mobility and animation on this one is amazing. Additionally, it can also be used to traverse gaps and verticality. Easily my favorite ranged ability.
Are you kidding me, bro?
Next, Thundering Shot.
That movement is freaking sick,
Lightning
dude.
Reload, which is a self buff that allows you to use select abilities with no cooldown.
Bro.
Bear Trap.
These range abilities look insane, dude.
Call
they
of the
look
Wild.
So good.
Raining Death.
So Spectre asks a great question. He says, wonder if the range is a sphere like in WoW, or if you can shoot further by being higher up. At least to my knowledge, that I've seen, Furix is probably the Unity expert on this game. At least to my knowledge, I have seen many videos of people like fighting from different levels of terrain. I do not believe that it is blocked, like you have to be on the same horizontal plane. I do believe you can be on different levels. Cody Myers on TikTok, this is Ashes of Creation, still in development. Bro, look at how good that
Disengage, another great traversal ability.
Bro.
And finally, you've got the imbued ammo abilities, which come in 3 types: weighted, barbed, and concussive. 3 different self buffs that imbues your next 10 shots with the various effects displayed on screen.
Good.
Overall, the reaction to the updated ranger combat was received very positively by the Ashes community. For me personally, I was especially a fan of the fluidity of the 2 mobility abilities, Airstrike and Disengage, as well as the basic attacks that fire much quicker than I expected. I also like that the mark abilities are off the GCD, and I think the visual effects so far look pretty good for this stage of development.
I'm obsessed with visuals. I am obsessed with visuals. And like for me, I do like World of Warcraft better as a whole than I do Final Fantasy 14. However, what I love about Final Fantasy 14 is I love the just beautiful animations and aesthetics. So to be able to have a newer MMO like this, but also bringing in some beautiful aesthetics, beautiful combat animations like we're going to see, and they're only going to get better. So stick around. Like this really could be looking to be like the best MMO in maybe the past 10, 15 years.
Aside from the combat, we also got a look at the ranger skill tree and weapon skill tree, which further augments how your abilities work. I won't go into details on this as it will likely change with balancing, but this should give you
So at least to my current knowledge, this game has a class skill tree and then an additional skill tree. Take this information with a grain of salt because I'm still learning as well, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But I do believe that it has a combination of your normal MMO talent tree with your New World weapon talent tree. And I believe that it has kind of almost maybe like a combo of both, leading to like insane customization. And here's one thing I do know is that almost every single class in the game can use every weapon. So you can be a mage with a two-handed sword and all of your abilities are a little bit different than if you were a mage wearing like a two-handed staff. So like there's almost no limitations. There's so much customization, 64 class combos. I mean, it's really looking to be insane. Furix says it's correct. Not fake news!
Decent idea of how you can change your abilities to suit your playstyle. After the ability overview, the livestream concluded with some gameplay of the Ranger in action, as well as the usual art showcase, which I'll flash on screen now.
Guys, I could be addicted to this game when it comes out.
And that was pretty much
Furix
it for
is
the
gonna know life
December
this
2023 update. Overall, a great update to end the year.
Furix, Unity Ashes
2024
when?
started off with an absolute banger of a development live stream that showcased Ashes of Creation's Caravan PvP system.
Picture Unity Gaming going out and ending toxicity by just killing everybody. It's gonna be amazing. Come on!
Starting out, Steven has his raid group make their way to a viewpoint where they lay in wait, ready to ambush a passing caravan protected by another raid group.
Wait, are they stealth right now? Are they stealth? Because they look kind of stealthy, dude.
Caravan approached, then
okay, because he's not stealth, but they look stealth?
Ensues.
Oh my god. Oh, it's bloodshed.
Oh! Bro, this World PvP looks insane!
This is our loot.
Bro, I may already be addicted.
Don't let them get away!
Once the players are slain, the raid then turn their focus towards damaging the caravan, which visibly gets destroyed, catches fire, and the crates of loot carried by the caravan are then scattered around the area.
What's in the caravan?
A victory icon then pops up on the UI and instructs the raid to pillage their loot. At this point, you're able to see that the type of contents in the crates is displayed with an icon.
Oh, you can actually loot them!
Crate. Some crates contain commodities, some contain materials. Steven approaches a green marked crate, presses E, and is able to open the crate to loot stolen commodities. These are basically certificates that can be sold to black market vendors for gold. The second type of lootable crate is material, in this instance rubies.
Like guys, imagine our crew on like a random Thursday night, Wednesday night, getting together, Unity above our head, and just because even if you don't like World PvP, when there is just enough of you and not enough of them, it's just, do you want to, it's not even, hey, do you guys want to show up for PvP? It's, do you want to show up for domination? And that's what I'm talking about.
Due to the sheer amount of loot though, this is too much for the raid to carry. Additionally, if you manually loot the crates, you get much less money for turning them in compared to if you deliver them via your own caravan. So Steven opens his inventory, clicks on the caravan item, and this begins a countdown for a caravan to be summoned.
Oh, okay, so it looks like they destroyed their caravan, and then now he's going to put his own caravan down to put all of that loot on top of it?
The length of time you need to wait for this summoning depends on the distance between you and the node your caravan is stored at.
Oh,
next the group
needs you need to stand there and build it.
To wait around the summoning flag and defend it from attackers. Eventually the caravan arrives, we mount up, approach the cargo, and there's a button appear on the caravan hotbar called Collect Cargo.
Oh, that's
Upon
sick,
clicking
dude!
this, an AoE circle appears, and you're able to instantly loot the cargo within the radius of the circle into your caravan. The raid then set off, having successfully stolen the cargo from the other raid group into their own caravan, and eventually reach a body of water. Here we're able to see how a ground caravan is able to convert to a raft after going through a few minutes of building. During this process, you're able to—
Did he just say convert to a raft?
See the details of how the caravan is slowly taken apart and rebuilt into a raft to traverse the water.
No shot!
Obviously, it's very vulnerable to attack during this process, so the raid will need to be ready to defend it from attackers. Steven's group repels the attackers, defending the caravan successfully converts into a raft, and we're able to see it slide down the ramp and splash as it's deployed into
they just took it apart, rebuilt it as a boat, and now they're gonna go on it? I knew that was sailing, but that's insane.
Water. Really nice attention to detail. The raid group swim over to the raft, jump on, and we see this really cool scene of the boys out on the water, freely moving around the raft, wind in the sails, waves generated from the movement of the boat. It all looked super cool. Whilst on the water, it's explained that—
And then people wonder why this game is taking so long to develop. Because like Felix said, like they're taking the time to do it right. That is insane, bro.
The game will have a current system with the water similar to Arcade, where your speed will increase if you sail with the current and slow down whilst against it.
That's cool.
If you do nothing, the current will slowly move you along on its own. Current strength will be different depending on the river and the location. After a bit of sailing around, the raid run into an ambush whilst at sea, but turn around to safety, eventually finding a good location to disembark the raft and convert it back to a land caravan. In doing so, the entire conversion process is repeated, but in reverse.
That makes sense.
With the raft this time being deconstructed and needing to once again be defended.
So yeah, they're taking it apart again to rebuild it as a normal caravan on wheels. And they're vulnerable and exposed the whole time. They gotta protect it.
With the land caravan rebuilt, the group make their way to the node where they're attacked one final time. They successfully defend the caravan, then arrive at the node where the goods are able to be unpacked. To do this, talk to a caravan master,
that's
click
legit,
caravan storage
dude.
where all of your goods will be displayed. Then
Guys, put a 5 in chat if your peak has been interest. Let me know in the YouTube comments below if you're thinking about playing Ashes of Creation when it comes out when we're all about 75 years old.
you're able to right-click on the goods and unpack them into the node cargo storage, which will take a certain period of time during which the materials being unpacked will be temporarily locked. Next, we head over to the commodities vendor and sell those crates directly to the NPC, and finally we head over to a shady back alley room where we're able to sell the stolen commodities that were manually looted to a black market vendor.
Bro, this is like
the black market is however only available should a node choose to unlock it via the node marketplace skill tree progression path. Very brief art update to end the January livestream, and overall it was an update that was received pretty well, although there was a lot of concerns from the community regarding there seemingly not being a whole lot of risk to attacking caravans on the side of the attackers, which sparked quite a bit of debate. We don't have time to get into this in this video, but overall another great showcase where I was particularly impressed with the attention to detail when it came to the animation of converting the caravan to a raft. February's development livestream was an interesting one as it was focused around commissions and gave us a good idea of what day-to-day solo-oriented—
Magnificor, this is you, bro. We got some Frost Mage action going on, and you can be like 10 different types of mages. It's crazy.
Gameplay would look like in Ashes of Creation. Starting out, Steven's piloting a mage and heads over to the node Commission board. At first glance, this reminded me a lot of New World's town board missions, except with the addition of varying rarity levels for missions, and that's pretty much what they are. Solo content that funnels players into other content and contribute to the progress of story arcs, taking you to areas where events are triggered, and also pick up side quests along the way. We take 2 commissions with objectives relatively close to each other.
What I've noticed in my research of Ashes of Creation, I'll say I followed it over the years loosely. I wouldn't say super hardcore. Is it really seems to be a game that really has a good balance of what I call, and many people call, vertical progression and horizontal progression. Meaning vertical being like, you know, end game content that just makes you stronger, better gear, better weapons, better eye level. Horizontal progression is just other ways to play the game that don't necessarily make you stronger, but they're fun ways to play the game. Quests, farming mounts, professions, doing different things to help, reputation for the town, housing, different things like that. This game seems to really have a great balance. Most games kind of have one or the other, or they stronger emphasize horizontal over vertical or vice versa. Like WoW is really mostly all about vertical progression, right? Is there horizontal things to do? Absolutely. But most people would say WoW is an end game type of game. And I think that this really is looking to have a great balance, which I think is really, really cool. What up, Dallas? Good to see you, brother.
Each other, and along the way are beckoned over by a Minotaur, which after some dialogue offers us a side quest to talk to his brother. Find the brother, who then gives us another side quest to kill other Minotaur, and after killing a few, an event is spawned.
Oh, Mage combat, here we go.
Leader is summoned, which...
First of all, the weather, this already looks sick, dude. Look how dark and gloomy this looks because of the storm.
Which also results in a change of the weather to a storm. The storm features weather hazards in the form of lightning bolts, which damage mobs, and as we find out later, can basically one-shot you. Something I found a bit off during this gameplay was how the rain changes direction based on your movement of the camera. It just didn't look good at times. The next 20 minutes is basically just doing various types of quests in the form of commissions, side quests, and events. Personally, I found this livestream quite hard to watch, as Steven's piloting of the Mage didn't make the class look very appealing to play. After completing...
Bro, he just called him out, dude. He just said the Mage didn't look good because he sucked at playing him. Bro, give the guy a chance, dude. What a burn, dude. You can't be good at all, man. Can't be good at all,
some objectives and arriving at a viewpoint, the gameplay section of this live stream ends with the node leveling up, and the beginning of a new story arc which brings with it changes to the area.
Oh, dang.
As usual, a quick look at the art update.
Even that artwork looks... Oh, that's sick. That must be an NPC or a boss or something.
And that was pretty much it for February's development livestream. Overall, I thought this one was kind of mid.
Dude,
I thought
even though the Mage animations are just sweet.
Environmental hazards on display were cool, but seeing that Mage gameplay with the clicking and backpedaling was really hard to watch.
Bro, why are you crapping on the backpedaling? Backpedaling in that scenario was completely fine.
That Mage gameplay with the clicking and backpedaling was really hard to watch. The community...
I think he's being a little too critical. I think it's a little much.
The reception to this one was quite positive though, with many comments saying things like, it's starting to look like a somewhat finished game.
Yeah, this
Q1 2024 ended with an absolute banger of a development livestream, this time showing off the updated combat to the fighter class. Similar to what we did with the ranger, I'll just show off each individual ability
look at that orc,
with the tooltip info on screen to keep things concise. Starting out
oh my, look at that orc, dude. That orc looks clean. What up, Chad? Good to see you, bro.
Actually seeing the male orc race in game for the first time. We get a quick look at the skill
that plate armor,
a short explanation of the momentum system, which is essentially rage, if you're familiar with the warrior from World of Warcraft, with some abilities generating momentum and others spending it. Starting off with the first ability, Blitz, which is basically your standard warrior charge ability, except this one seems extremely strong in that you can jump and charge vertically to get
vertical, bro.
Next, Brutal Cleave, which is an AoE cleave ability and momentum builder which shares a cooldown with Overpower. Overpower is basically the single target counterpart to Cleave. Maim, which is probably my favourite warrior ability, which can be augmented via the skill tree to either be a frontal cone or range shockwave.
Nice, dude.
Battle Cry.
Is that like a battle shout from WoW kind of thing?
Whirlwind. Cataclysm, another super impactful big damage AoE.
Bro.
Rupture, this one reminds me of Bloodseeker's ult from Dota 2. Crippling Blow, basically Hamstring from WoW.
Dude, that looks so good, man.
Lethal Blow, your execute ability.
Nice.
Something interesting with this, however, is that you can spec it so that 50% of your overkill damage is returned to you as health and mana.
Oh, wow.
Blood Fusion, an off GCD leech buff.
Dude.
Lunging Assault. Leap Strike, basically heroic leap on steroids. This can also be used to traverse verticality and gaps. Next, we've got 3...
This might be the best warrior animations I've literally seen in any MMO.
different forms, which are basically
What?
stances. Form of ferocity, form of celerity, and form of fluidity. Next,
That is
we've got
nuts.
Exert, which basically combines the effects of each of your forms into a big spender, where for 5 seconds or so you'll be unstoppable. This also acts as a CC break. Up next, we got to look at the weapon skill tree and greatsword basic attack combos.
Dude.
And it's worth remembering that each class in Ashes will be able to use any weapon. You could play as a greatsword wielding mage, for example.
Yeah, like I said
It basically
earlier, yeah.
just changes your weapon basic attack, and each weapon has its own skill tree.
Dude.
With the ability showcase out of the way, a group was formed and they demonstrated how the warrior looks in group play. During this section, I noticed that you seem to loot mobs individually in Ashes, which looks a bit clunky. Personally,
Okay.
I think it would be much better if they just added the AoE loot option along with auto loot, exactly how it works in World of Warcraft. If it's not broken, don't fix it. During this section, we also got to look at some...
I do know that Steven, the head developer, is trying to make this game feel more on the classic side-ish with some of the new modern. Like, he wants it to kind of feel like a little bit of an old school MMO, but with, you know, with good modern quality of life. So I wonder if that's intentional, or I wonder if it's maybe just something they haven't finished yet.
Destructible environments.
Bro, that looks
And
sweet,
eventually
dude.
they kill a boss, complete some objectives, and that was pretty much it for the gameplay section of this live stream. Overall, I really like the direction they're going with the fighter class, and it's looking like a strong contender for my main at release. The only real critique I have is that some of the abilities look like they're skipping frames, so perhaps some improvements to the
Sure,
animations.
still an alpha,
But other than
unfinished
that,
product.
the combat showcased here actually looked really good. Here's the usual art update.
Nice, dude. Dude, this game is looking sweet, dude. And there's
And at the end
destructible
of the live
buildings in this
stream, it was
game.
mentioned that Intrepid Studios is currently going through a bit of a hiring process. So if you're someone that works in the gaming industry, then check out their website for open positions, so you can help bring about this MMO's release before the end of the decade.
Dude, here's why that's such a good thing, right? Because people have been saying that, like, oh, this game is taking forever to launch. The game is probably dying. It's probably never going to come out. If they're looking to hire more people, that means that the game is getting more money over time. And not only is it getting more money, they're investing more money. They're either getting new investors, or there's more. I think they have a Kickstarter that I know they had one at the beginning. Maybe they're doing. I don't know. But a game that's going downhill doesn't have money to hire. And did you see how many people? Like, that was a whole list of names.
And at the end of the live stream, it was mentioned that Intrepid Studios is currently going through a bit of a hiring process. So if you're someone that works in the gaming industry, then check out their website for open positions, so you can help bring about this MMO's release.
Bro, that was easily 20 jobs. That's easily 20 jobs. If your game is dying and going downhill, you're not looking to hire like 20 new people. That is a really good sign of health and growth.
Before the end of the decade.
Wow.
To summarize my thoughts on all of these updates, it's a night and day difference with how Ashes is looking now compared to Alpha 1. The game is starting to look very playable now,
Yeah.
and I'm even starting to think that the combat is looking decent. With a bit more polish, this could have the potential to be one of the best hybrid combat systems in the genre. Things I don't like that could be improved.
Okay.
The looting looks clunky, animations need to be smoother,
Sure, that'll be, work in progress.
and the lighting as a whole could be improved, as in some places it makes the visuals look kinda rough. For
Okay.
example, the scene at the end of the Commission's live stream from the viewpoint. I can't believe it's been almost 3 years
This is what the game used to look like right here, compared to what you just saw.
since I last played Ashes of Creation in Alpha 1. 7 years since I first
I think this is what the game, when it first was being made, looked, I think. Yeah.
covered this project. Ashes of Creation is truly my last hope for the MMO genre. I suppose PAX Day looks decent, but everything else looks either mid or is guaranteed to be pay to win.
This is a
due to
different game right
Korean
now.
Developers. Let's just hope nothing unexpected happens that would cause this game to not make it to completion.
This game is already looking to be super incredible. I will 100% be playing this game on launch. We'll see what the interest is going to be from our community. But let me know, are you going to be playing it? I will absolutely be playing it. Probably going to be playing something along the lines of a paladin. You guys know me. That's pretty much what I play in every MMO. But I think this game shows huge promise. Are there things that still need to be updated? Of course. It's an unfinished game. It's not even out of alpha yet. When is it coming out? We have no idea. But here is what I'll say. I'm okay with the game taking longer to be made and that it actually be done right. I am tired of us paying for money, paying for games with our money that come out unfinished, unreleased with so many problems. It is about time that a developer finishes an actual game, even if it takes longer, and then releases when it's ready. I'm super pumped for this game. I will absolutely be playing when it releases. I'll be letting you guys know what's going to be happening in the community for it if we do anything with it, but I am super pumped. I think this game is going to be amazing.